This is IUP TV News, broadcast from Davis Hall. We will bring you our weekly news bulletin. I'm Brandon Uhalik.
And I'm Taylor Jones. Today we will bring you stories related to IUP and the Indiana community. We will begin with local news. A nationally known manufacturer of furniture products has named Indiana on a short list of 3 potential sites for a huge assembly and distribution center. The center is expected to employ between 300 and 500 people, as well as offering tax breaks and other incentives. The location is expected to be in White Township, Eastern Pennsylvania, or North Carolina.
Now the national news. Students at some central Pennsylvania high schools are planning to take part in a protest against gun violence, joining their peers around the country in the wake of the Florida school shooting. Students at Carlisle High School are planning a walkout on March 14th in support of gun control. The walkout will be for about 45 minutes and will include a memorial to students who lost their lives at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, as well as student speakers advocating for sensible gun control.
In international news, a German court ruled that cities can ban diesel cars and trucks to combat air pollution, a decision with wide-ranging and costly implications that marks a turning point for diesel vehicles in Germany. While environmentalists cheered and business groups protested the decision by the Federal Administrative Court, the German government scrambled to reassure drivers it would seek to prevent such drastic measures.
It's hard to explain. It just became home. There are hundreds of majors and programs, bachelor's degrees to PhDs, small classes and faculty that really get to know you. Amazing internships and everywhere, programs that help to find a job that is right for you. It's what IUP is about, a commitment to your success. See it for yourself. Visit us, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
One of the reasons I appreciate being a student is the opportunity to learn not only from professors, but also professionals. The Department of Arts in the Wood Center invited a furniture designer and winner of the 2016 HGTV Ellen's Design Challenge, Vivian Beer, last week to share her expertise with students and the community. Aaron Stewart has the story.
Vivian Beer, the winner of HGTV's Ellen DeGeneres Design Challenge in 2016, came to IUP to show the public the process of her work. Students watched how metal can be shaped as furniture. What do you think about this work?
Oh, I think it's incredible. Just the technique alone, plus the visuals on it.
Native of New England, Miss Beer has been known for her sleek, abstract metal furniture design that combines aesthetic contemporary art and sculpture.
What made you interested in metal, like working with metal?
Well, as I was saying last night, I mean, it's a little bit of a joke, but it's also true of, I love metal because it pushes back quite a bit. So it's a material that has an extraordinary amount of ductility.
How did you start with this work, or what got you into it?
I don't know if there's any one thing that I could do. I've been running my own studio for 10 years now, so I've been doing it for I'm less interested in how I started, but how I keep going.
So I looked at most of your stuff, and you have used a lot of color. How do you choose colors in your work?
Color's a tricky one. There's whole books written around chromophobia, actually. So color is really powerful. And one of the things that I love and have loved and love about working with automotive paints is that it's more than just a color.
Her work has been displayed in prestigious museums in DC, Boston, and Maine, as well as her own galleries in different parts of the country, such as Philadelphia, Memphis, Tennessee, San Diego, and New York.
What do you expect students to learn from her?
Well, I expect students to learn something about the materials that she's using and how to work with those materials.
Reporting for IUP TV News, this is Aaron Stewart.
If you have no plans this coming week, perhaps you should include visiting the University Museum. Beginning March 1st until March the 10th, the museum will display paintings made by famous painters who grew up in Western Pennsylvania. The exhibition is called Memory and Magic, Folk Artists in Western Pennsylvania. Emily has the story.
What do you think when you look at this painting? Or this painting? This style of art is known as folk art and it is being shown at the University Museum here and at IUP in an exhibit called Memory and Magic, Folk Artists in Western Pennsylvania, showing sculptures and paintings from various artists, such as Earl Deemer, Eunice McCloskey, and even some unknown artists. Rhonda Yeager and Donna Cashdeller are the curators for this exhibit. I sat down and talked with them about why they called it Memory and Magic, and about folk art in general. According to them, they've been wanting to do an exhibit on folk art for many years.
Memory and Magic, the reason we picked that as a title is that folk art kind of deals with those two issues. Memory, you see a lot of the paintings, Richard Cooper's paintings and Eunice McCloskey's paintings kind of record everyday life in Western Pennsylvania at the time they were painting. And in a way, it's also kind of a nostalgic look at life in Western Pennsylvania. It wasn't always as pretty as it appears in those paintings. So that's the memory part. And the magic part is covered by someone like Mary Hamilton, because folk art also deals with myth and culture and spirituality, and magic just kind of encompasses all those issues, we thought. And folk artists in Western Pennsylvania, that's what we're dealing with here. Exactly.
Some of the art has a lot of story behind it. This painting by Linton Park is one of his 13 remaining, after the creamery in which his studio was in burnt down back in 1904. Park is also known as being an inventor and had a very interesting life, according to Yeager.
He worked in the timber industry, we know, for a little while, but we don't know exactly what he did. But of course, this is a memory. This is a memory back from 1885 when they're doing actually flax scutching a bee. But you can see this is a memory of all these people that get together, gather around, have, you know, a big, probably, I don't know, kind of a party, and they're working at the same time, they're partying at the same time, they're eating, they're talking, they're probably doing everything. You can see these people, some of them are all getting crazy, maybe they're dancing a little bit, but you know, it's showing you like what the area looked like in 1885.
Other art was given specifically to the museum by the artists themselves, like the work from Eunice McCloskey, who gave the art back in the 1970s. She also had a lot of connections with the school.
So she's a very, very well-known folk artist and author, and her daughter actually attended IUP. Right. So she has been connected to the IUP community for you know, a very long time. Mm-hmm. And so we're very happy to have her work in that connection.
One of the artists was even at the museum the day I was there. Richard Cooper was here to discuss his work and talk to those who came by to visit.
Folk art means to me that I have no training. Hopefully I have some ability and some vision and some ideas and some technique, and I just paint, you know, without any training. I just paint from my spirit. That's what folk art means to me.
While much of his work at the museum is from the 70s and 80s, Cooper is still painting and has many plans for his future.
Okay, I have some commissions that I'm working on, and I'm going to still continue to do that. I'm working on a series of pen and ink drawings. I'm doing that, and I'm also making art out of found objects, like my sculptures. So I was always looking for stuff to put together in the sculptures.
The exhibit has garnered a lot of attention from both students and from the community. The exhibit will be open until March 10th. For more information on the museum, hours, and future exhibits, go to iup.edu/museum. From IUP TV News, this is Emily Lose.
February is Black History Month. To celebrate, IUP held many activities and invited people with different backgrounds to participate. One of them is Ken Wadiki, a peace activist, an inspirational speaker, and the founder of the Free Hugs Project. Troy Richardson has his story.
At a time, hugging people was not a good idea, especially if they are members of opposite sex. For Ken Wadiki, an activist and a founder of Free Hug Movement, hugging brings a different story.
I think with all of the hate groups on the rise, it's easier for people to just hate or avoid people that they don't understand or people that look differently than them. And instead, I see that as an opportunity to learn and love others, to be able to step out of our comfort zone and be able to say, that person may not look like me, we may not have the same upbringing or experiences, but that's more of a reason why I want to learn more about them.
Growing up poor in San Diego, California, and being homeless for some time, he understood the importance of connection, human kindness, and love to each other despite our differences. For him, his two role models guided him in his work.
One is Dr. Martin Luther King is one of my biggest inspirations. Studied so much of his work growing up and really used that to shape a lot of the work that I do. But the second being Jesus Christ, just that message of love and being able to pour that back into the country and even into certain parts of the world.
Ken's life and his effort to keep on going has inspired some people in the audience to be better in their lives.
What did I take away from it? Just that, there is so much hate in the world, and that we as young people, and especially me being a basketball player, I have a tiny platform compared to his, but to just spread love and just let people know that it's okay to be different and we're all just human beings and we're just all here trying to reach the same goals, and with encouragement and support from each other, that's how we're really going to reach the top.
Hopefully the talk can bring a better dialogue among different people, not only in the university, but worldwide. This is Troy Richardson reporting for IUP TV News.
So Taylor, the world is buzzing right now on this new Black Panther movie. Have you had a chance to go and see it yet?
Yes, I have, and I really enjoyed it, and I love how it's a predominantly black cast. Everyone should go see it.
Yeah, I'm a huge comic book buff. I've been all my life, and I've seen every single superhero movie, and I think Black Panther might be top 3, if not the best comic book movie that has come out under the MCU belt. Like you said, it's great for African Americans because they finally get to have a centerpiece of a superhero that they can look up to.
Yes.
And look at Chadwick Boseman, and he's a fantastic actor, and just a little fun fact that Black Panther is the wealthiest comic book superhero in all of comic book lore. So I truly think the success of this film is going to change comic book movies for the foreseeable future.
And I completely agree. Coming up next, Peyton Markajon will bring you sport and health stories. Stay tuned.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
This week, Jessica Jones was named Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Champion Scholar for women's indoor track and field. According to IUP Athletics, this award is modeled after the NCAA's Elite 90 Award, honoring the student athlete with the top grade point average who is competing in a PSAC championship final. Jones has a 4.0 GPA in her degree in mathematics and German. She is the second IUP women's track and field athlete and the 25th IUP athlete overall to win this award.
I fell in love with the campus, with the people, with my IUP life. See it for yourself. Visit us. Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
Good news, flu season is on its way out, or at least flu-related doctor's visits are. According to the CDC, only 1 out of 16 doctor's visits have been for flu-related symptoms. The number of states that reported high patient traffic has gone down from 43 to 39 states. These statistics are leading some doctors to believe that the peak of the flu season may be behind us. However, this doesn't necessarily mean you're in the clear. CDC flu expert Dr. Daniel Jernigan says that the flu is likely to stick around until April. He advises people to still get a flu shot if you're worried and haven't already done so.
Receiving a Jefferson Award for public service was an honor I will always cherish. I've known since I was very young that I wanted to help make a difference, but I didn't create an organization to win an award. I did it because as a teacher, I believe all kids deserve a good start and a shot at high achievement. I'm April King, a graduate of Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Get my story at iup.edu.
No, March 2nd is Read Across America Day. It's like a reminder that we should read regularly. By the way, do you like to read?
Taylor, I love to read. I mean, during the summer, I try and knock out as many books as I can, but during the school year, it's really tough with all the textbooks that they provide. I really can't find myself the time to pick up a book during the semester that isn't a school book. But how about you? Have you read any fun books of late?
Actually, I don't remember, but I might not be the only one. Our reporter, Jackie Gillis, went around IUP and asked the people about their reading habits.
Welcome back to Hawk on the Block. Today I was asking students what the last book they read was and why, in honor of Read Across America Day, March 2nd.
The last book I read was Fahrenheit 451. I had to read it for a class. My favorite part about the book was the characters.
The last book I read was The Island by Aldous Huxley. It's a book about an island where everything is ideal and it's a perfect society.
The last book I read was Where the Wild Things Are, because over the winter I work at a children's library and I was putting it away and it made me feel nostalgic about when I was younger.
It was Jeanette Wall's Glass Castle. I saw it was just made into a movie, and I read it in high school, and I was like, you know, I really like that book, so kind of wanted to read it again. It's about like a girl and her family in poverty. They jump from house to house, not even houses sometimes. They sleep in the desert and in their car, and it's a really good book, and it's definitely moving.
The last book I read was Grit for my comm class. It's really cool. It's about how gritty you are and how hard you work.
Well, I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Rooster Bar by John Grisham, and I'm only about a third of the way through it, and it's a really good book. I like John Grisham. He's one of my favorite novelists. He always writes stories about, usually that involve lawyers, and this story is about law school and some students that are in law school, and they're kind of upset because they're finding out that they owe an enormous amount of money to the federal government, and that money that bill is going to come due at the end of their senior year, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. And I don't want to give anything away. Plus, I'm only a third of the way through it, so I'm not gonna. There's not much I can say, but it is a really good book. It's one of those books when you first start reading it, you can't put it down. So.
Reporting for IUP TV News, I'm Jackie Gillis.
Spring break will come before we know it. Next week, we will report on stories related to people's plans for spring break, as well as various activities around IUP to help us get ready and healthy for spring.
Please stay tuned. We'll see you next week.